A year ago, 54% said Obama, 36% said Republicans. Now look at this. 41% say Obama, 45% say Republicans. That's quite a swing.
I mean, he was up 18 points. Now he's down 4, right? I mean, it's crazy how this has switched, even given the fact that the Republicans blew the government shutdown in October. And you would think that the president might still be riding on that. But he's not, for a variety of reasons. One is people don't think he's as competent as they used to think. They don't think he's as trustworthy as they used to think. And one of these poll numbers also shows that they don't believe he's going to protect the middle class as much as they once believed. And we all know that's his bread and butter. When he ran for re-election, that was it. I'm all about the middle class.
Is it simply the rollout of the Affordable Care Act, the health care website, the promise, if you like your health care plan, you can keep your health? Is that largely the reason these numbers have dropped like that?
It's not just that, but there was a small snowball rolling down the hill, and then you had the rollout, and it made it a giant snowball, because that not only undermined his approval rating, it undermined people's view of, number one, his competence. Can he effectively manage the government? And number two, can the government do anything right? And so you're a left-of-center president. You believe in progressive. You leave the levers of government to do good. And here he is, Wolf. Go back to the State of the Union at the beginning of the year. He's 0 for 2013. He wanted jobs programs. He wanted to raise the minimum wage. Go back through the policy list and then add gun control after Newtown. Nothing. Nothing. And so now you have him around 40. What does that mean? The Republicans are going to look at 2014 and think we're going to gain seats in the House and perhaps get the Senate. And it causes jitters and in some cases panic among the Democrats, which gets hard to get things done.
Ron, you wrote an article about this in the National Journal, an article entitled provocatively, "This is the End of the Presidency." And you wrote, among other things, Obama needs to shatter the cycle of dysfunction, his and history's, or risk leaving office like Bush, unpopular and relatively unaccomplished.
Yeah, that was a quote from Steve Schmidt right in the middle of the Katrina collapse and disaster that Bush was going through in his fifth year. He wrote to his colleagues that the presidency is over. And
Steve Schmidt, the Republican operative who worked in the Bush White House.
Obviously, there's no comparison between a war and a natural disaster to what President Obama is going through, but there is a comparison between how they've handled the crises, starting with coming into their first term, overreading their mandate, and then not realizing the trouble they're in, and then not responding forcefully to that trouble by fixing the way they're leading.
You know, and I think you made the point in the column, which was so good, which was about when the president won, the first thing he did was avoid the fiscal cliff by doing the tax cuts the tax increases on the wealthy. He sort of jammed that down Republicans' throats. It was a huge victory for him. But then
his prerogative.
His prerogative, right? He won. He said there'd been but then ever since that point, it's to John's point, it's been downhill and different.
So how does he turn this around?
Well, he has to be modest in the State of the Union, number one. He has to hope probably that the Republicans misplay their hands again and give him an opening to seize the opportunity. He's still the president. He's a good politician. He's a good communicator. And he has the power of the bully pulpit. However, when his own party is nervous, what can this president propose in the State of the Union that Republicans are going to embrace? Are they going to do comprehensive immigration reform right now? I think not. Will the president accept a major compromise? The liberal base would revolt on him in an election year. So once we turn from 13 into 14, Wolf, a very difficult situation gets even harder because of all the election year components on both sides.
I actually think it's more fundamental. Let's go back to a president we all cover, President Clinton, who went through a terrible time in 1994. What did he do? He changed the way he led. He brought in, he fired a bunch of people who weren't serving him. He brought in some people who changed the way he managed the White House, the way he ran the bureaucracy. That's what Barack Obama has to do. He's layering people now. But where are the people who have been giving him bad advice? Why haven't they been shown the door? And why isn't he bringing in people who are changing the way the White House is run?
But this is a president who seeks out his comfort level.
But his comfort level isn't working right now.
And he's bringing back some people he's very comfortable with. He's bringing, and Phil Shalero, for example, who served him in the first term. So I think he's going for his comfort level.
That's
and some would argue.
We'll continue this conversation, guys. Thanks very, very much.